My name is Lars Horntveth. I'm a songwriter and play in Jaga Jazzist, a Norwegian band. We've been together for 21 years almost. And I worked with AHA recently, doing 2 orchestra arrangements for Cast in Steel and Under the Makeup.
Hello, my name is Even Ormestad. I'm a bass player and producer from Norway, and I play in Jaga Jazzist. Been doing that for 20 years with Lars, and I play on several tracks on the new AHA album, and will be joining them for their upcoming tour.
No, so the new single Under the Makeup, we tried to do a kind of like a James Bond-ish big arrangement on it. Also inspired a little bit by a Björk song, which is called Play Dead, from the debut album of Björk. It sounds really big and almost like a wall of sound kind of. You heard it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big and yeah, but the last person, yeah. It's been really cool. He was super enthusiastic, especially when we actually recorded the orchestra, because we did it. I've done this a few times before, but it's a funny way to do it. I live in Los Angeles. Paul lives in New York, and Eric is in Oslo, and the orchestra was in Macedônia. So we did it like 6 in the morning. In my time, like Los Angeles time, in my studio, which is a garage in Hollywood. So recorded it and via Skype, so communicating via Skype, and the music in the orchestra is like it's streamed through a FTP server, so you get like real time and communicate via Skype. So it's a lot of fun sitting. I'm sitting in Los Angeles and drinking morning coffee, trying to stay awake with a 70-piece orchestra in Macedônia. Paul is sitting in New York in his apartment, with headphones and probably an iPad or something, and Eric is in Oslo and in his studio and listening to this. So it was a lot of fun. The track we did 2 tracks, so I'm very happy that those turned out to be. The singles, of course, but even just it would be more than enough for me that they actually made the album. We had 4 hours for recording this thing, and we took actually we spent maybe 3 of those hours on Under the Makeup, because that's it's a pretty difficult arrangement to play. It's very grandiose, and so that took a while. But then the Cast in Steel song, that was like first take. It was just goosebumps. So we had it on, and that song is 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I guess. And yeah, we have it. So it was a lot of fun. I love doing stuff like that, and I think Paul was super excited about it.
Yeah, I've been playing. Actually, my kind of like audition for getting into this whole thing was going out to Magnus' studio and play on one of his tracks, and that started the whole thing. And then Eric came to me, to my studio, with 3 of Paul's tracks, and I played bass on them. And 2 of those are Under the Makeup and Cast in Steel. Yeah, I'm really excited about going on tour the spring of 2016. We're gonna go all of Europe and Russia, and playing great venues like the O2 Arena in London, for instance. I'm really excited about this. Yeah. Kolorif, Eric and I have been starting to rehearse now for the tour. It's really cool. We rehearse at Eric's studio. So we haven't been rehearsing with the guys yet, just us in the backing band. That's really exciting. I've been like a fan of AHA as long as I can remember, of course. their breakthrough was when I was 7 years old. So it's really special for me to join them, both on album and live.
It came about Eric, who plays with Eric Ljunggren, keyboards and kind of like band leader type, I guess. Him and Evan were working with these tracks, and then they wanted, you know, strings and horns and orchestra. So I think basically you two came up, you know, with you know, suggested that I do arrangements for a-ha. So that's how it came about. So it's really exciting. I've been a fan of a-ha since they started when I was 3 years old or something. So it's a big thing for me to be able to write and arrange for them. It's quite absurd. It's a lot of fun. It is kind of surreal, but you know, Paul. I spent some time with Paul like 10 years ago. I lived in New York for a while, and he's so, you know, down to earth, and so we you know, we're just out drinking and talking about music and stuff. And I was amazed that he knew so much about Norwegian, the Norwegian music scene, actually, since he's been in New York for like 30 years or whatever. But he still knew so much about like what's happening in the kind of local scene. The last tour they did, what was the name of that?
Ending on a high note.
Yeah, I think I saw 4 shows, because I played with another Norwegian artist, which I produced them and recorded her albums, and she played support for 2 of those shows, I think. Susanne Sundfør. So that was a lot of fun, and I would definitely go to as many shows as that, even without, you know, playing myself, because it's a really big deal, I think, and those concerts were amazing. So yeah, we have me and my brother actually have another band, which is called National Bank, and the inspiration for, you know, starting that band was basically trying to do like a kind of like a modern version of a-ha in a way, like super inspired by a-ha. My favorite song is Living a Boy's Adventure Tale from the first album. I think that's an amazing song, and so special for the time. I think a very special thing about those 2 first albums, and especially the first one, is like how much, I think there's a lot of Burt Bacharach in it. There's a lot of time changes and weird like changes all the time.
Yeah.
And I talked to Paul about it actually, because I was like, how did you think when you wrote this stuff? And he was like, I wasn't thinking, you know. If you're gonna have a song that goes in 4/4, like a steady beat thing, and then suddenly goes into like a waltz, it's like that's something like it's Burt Bacharach-ish.
And
you know?
every like verse and chorus, it's always a different chord, and there's some changes and everything. Add some bars here and subtract some there. Yeah.
And what he told me was that
details.
it was actually much more of those time changes and stuff happening. But you know, this is early 80s, you know, so it was actually the producer who he was like spending so much time like programming like the sequencing of the drum machine. So he was like, let's simplify this thing, you know. So that was actually what happened. That's like, it's actually much more proggy than it's, you know, sounds on the record. It's, you know, stuff like that is super fascinating to me. The way they make songs and the kind of like the natural flow of it. It's just such a beautiful way of writing songs. It's very special.
Yeah.